Hi there, and welcome to FEH BOCES, Franklin-Essex-Hamilton BOCES Project Night. And today, we are going to present a program called Shake, Rattle, Call and Response. And what that involves is making some handmade rattles, rain stick variations, and to teach you some new ways to think, see, and invent. So I'm going to share my screen for a moment. And what I'm going to show you is a PDF PowerPoint I created that has all the instructions, and it has a little bit of history on two of the cultures that use rattles, and some other fun things. Tonight, I'm also going to be joined with musicians Peggy Lynn and Dan Duggan, and they will be doing the call and response songs that is the second half of this program. So we have two parts: making your rattle and then using your rattle in a call and response song. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, so again, welcome. This is the FEH BOCES Community Art Project presented through BluSeed Studios with me, Carol Marie Vossler, Dan Duggan, and Peggy Lynn. So I'm going to show you this PDF, and the project objectives: really have fun. It's really to be with family. This promotes active listening. This is a great art integration project. And it's simple. I use simple materials to begin with because that's how you should start. Architects, sculptors, and engineers all start with found object models so that they can then work out their procedure, their steps, and it goes from more of a divergent thinking method to a more convergent thinking, where you have things a bit more organized and you open yourself up to new ideas and maybe some thoughts that you didn't know you could have. All right. The materials that you'll be using, we'll keep it real simple. We're going to be using just tape, scissors, toothpicks, some aluminum foil, scissors, and I do have a piece of decorative paper. But if you don't have that at the moment, you can find anything. Here's an empty nut jar. Here's a glass jar I've just put duct tape on with some beans. You can put the lid on and create some sort of rhythm with it. I found this bottle. It's very cute. And I literally rummaged through my drawers. So there's lots and lots of options. But today we're going to be using paper rolls to come to a finished product, these different types of rattles. Okay. And in this PDF, you'll find information on some Native American shakers and some West African shakers. And these are included for you to further research your rattle and your project, and to acknowledge the history and the cultures that have used these rattles and shakers and sound instruments for many, 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 many generations. Okay, part one, we'll begin with the rattle in this tube. And what we're going to do is you're going to take your aluminum foil and coil it into like a snake-like. And then you're going to insert the aluminum foil into the tube and tape it. Next, we're going to take the end of your tube and use it as a template and draw one circle, trace around the end of the tube, and then we will just trace another circle approximately a half inch around the first circle that you drew. And then we'll cut these tabs. These tabs make it easy for you to fold and cover the end of your tube. Then fun part, we fill the tube and we put on our second cap. Also, there's an alternative way to, if you don't have paper and you don't want to use, to cap it like I showed, I'll show you another alternative way to fold your tube so that the ends are enclosed. And then a really fun thing, I'm using aluminum foil. And the reason I'm using aluminum foil is it's simple and it embosses and it makes beautiful textures. You can decorate it. One fun thing is to paint it with like a black acrylic, let it dry. And then if you take a damp cloth or rag and rub it off, it looks like metal. So there's lots and lots of possibilities. Here I'm showing that on this rattle, I embossed, and I will show this better when I'm off the screen, but I put elements underneath before I wrapped so that they stick out and they kind of add this fun, unique surface. Then we wrap our tubes and emboss and then decorate it. So I'll leave the decorating to you afterwards. And then, because then you can take your time, we don't have to rush, and you probably will come up with lots of new ideas, which is awesome. So then we're finished. And my friends, Dan Duggan and Peggy Lynn, are going to help us use the rattles, teach us some rhythms, and we're going to do a call and response. And Peggy and Dan, they will explain the songs that we're using and what they mean and where they came from and the traditions. But I also have included all the information in this PowerPoint. All right, wonderful. Okay, let's start. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so first things first, where were we? Again, if you don't have a tube, anything works. So we have, I cut this tube off of a big wrapping paper. These make great rain sticks. And in fact, this is, like I said earlier, a little variation on a rain stick. You can also shake it. I found things, you can use keys, all sorts of little jangles and decorate. Okay, how do we get started? First, you choose which tube you want to use. And I think I'll just use this one. Okay, so I'm going to need to enclose the ends. All right, I think for one way I'll do it to show you, I'll do it two different ways. I'll put the paper cap on one side, and then I'll fold in the end, the one end. Okay, I'm going to lower my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Get my target. There we go. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, let me see. Let me get this decorative paper out of the way. And if you don't have decorative paper, that's fine. You should actually start with just copy paper. If you don't have a tube, you can roll your tube up. You can make a tube out of copy paper, a empty cardboard box, food box, like a cereal box or macaroni and cheese box. So what I'm doing is I'm making a circle. Okay. Nothing fancy. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you want, you can use a compass. Math teachers can integrate this into a really fine fractions. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to estimate, and I'm going to draw another circle. I'm just going to freehand about a 1/2 inch. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Another circle around. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a vertical line and then a horizontal line. And then I'm going to make 2 diagonal lines. You can have this. And I'm just simply going to cut this out. And it doesn't have to be super perfect, but if that's the way, oops, you want it to be, then that's fine too. Okay, so you end up something like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to cut these lines right here, just to the circle, to the inside circle. Perfect. And now what you can do is you can fold these tabs. This. Let's see, pick this up a little bit more. Okay. You have something like this. Then you cover your tab. Oh, I did it opposite way. It's no big deal. I didn't want the circle on top, but you might. I'm just going to flip it back. Paper flips really easily. Then I'll take a little bit of my tape to help secure it down. Just take your time. Anchor a few spots. If you anchor a few spots when you begin, then you can go around and how you like. These will, with those tabs, with that tab, cutting those tabs, you're making so that your circle, the decorated part, isn't too crinkled. Oops. Okay. More reinforcement. All right. I'm rushing a bit. You do not have to go as fast as I'm going. Just take your time and think about it. Okay, so here's step 1. The aluminum foil will cover this edge up, so I'm not too worried about how messy it is. The next thing I like to do is do some embossing. So I have some toothpicks. I also have string with me. I did have duct tape for this, but I don't have it with me right now. I have some popsicle sticks because, you know, you might want to put a handle on this. Maybe this one I will put a handle on. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take some of these toothpicks, and in the PDF instructions I use some beans as well, and that worked okay. Macaroni, rice works really well. If you could just, you know, put some glue on this and sprinkle some rice, or if you have a glue gun, you can use all those fancy tools. I'm better at just finding objects in my junk drawer. I just went through the kitchen. I went through a couple drawers. I went through my art supplies, because this should all be able to be done. And just because they're found objects and they come from your drawer doesn't mean that this can't take on some sort of, what I'm trying to say is it can be very functional. Okay, so here I am now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to just make a different kind of closure. And this is fun. It's similar, it's this. And with these, you can also make these into fun little gift boxes. You can put like presents inside so that they can be opened up. You can use wrapping paper. You don't have to use aluminum foil. Again, I'm using the aluminum foil because it's quick, and I like I like the embossing qualities. So I'm just working these in, just massaging it a little bit. So I'm not crushing too much. And I'm closing this up. And the other fun thing is it kind of looks like an animal, like an owl or something. I bet you could take this idea in a lot of different directions. So then I am going to just take a piece of tape and tape it down. Hopefully it'll hold. All right, here we go. Oh, you know what I forgot? Yep. Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes you get a little nervous doing this. I forgot the aluminum foil part. How many caught me on that? Okay, so I take a piece of aluminum foil and I'm going to roll it up into a snake. And what this does, now you don't have to do this either, but what this does, it sort of imitates, it plays off the rain stick idea and it slows the shake down. So here's no aluminum foil. And here's, well, where'd it go? Here's with aluminum foil. You can see it's a little slower. The beans get stuck in there. Okay. So I'm going to make like a snake. And I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to tape the edges. Now I didn't tape, I should have done it before I did the cover on this end, but it's okay. You don't have to tape that bottom edge. I'm just taping the top edge so that it doesn't move. And I know my beans will kind of follow that flow. Okay, now I'm going to get back to doing this, closing this up. There we go. Oh, forgot something else. I don't know what's happening. It's a beautiful sunny day out there. That's one thing. My beans. Geez, you can use beans, pasta, rice. I have some beans, so I'm pouring my beans in. Okay. I'm not going to put any beans today on the surface. They're in the directions. I'm just going to keep it simple right now. Now, finally, I can enclose this. Take a look. I can see that I have a toothpick poking up here. No biggie. I'm just going to take it off and reposition it so that it is not sticking above. I'll poke through the aluminum foil. All right, here we are. Already working. Now, I'm going to just wrap it in the aluminum foil. And again, you'll see why I like it because it's so easy. I'm going to think about if I wanted a handle on this, where I would put it. If you want to put a handle on this is the time where you would think about how you would place it. I would tape it on and mount it. If I had a glue stick, that would be even better, or a glue gun. But I'm just going to keep them off. But I could have put them inside too, and then tape the sticks to the inside of the tube. There's all different ways. Okay, and I'm just going to take some piece of aluminum foil. And I'm gonna just kind of hold it. It's up to you if you want the shiny or the dull side. I kind of pick the shiny side. I'm going to lay tip the computer so you can see, hopefully see that. Okay. I'm gonna place it a little long, so I'm going to I'm going to fold this edge, which helps reinforce. Okay. And then I'm going to begin the roll. I have a piece of tape there to hold it for me. And then I'm just going to carefully roll my shaker up. And you can use wrapping paper. You can use, you can just use the cardboard and paint. Now, the edges, see the edge here? See the edge? I'm going to fold the edge one more time. Folded the edge one more time. And I'm going to put the tape underneath the aluminum foil this time instead of on top. This tape's right there. The reason I'm doing it this way this time is I don't want the tape to show. So I'm just going to just sort of squeeze it in. Again, the reason I like aluminum foil is it just folds in. Now this is a little too tall, and that's so I can just take my scissors and trim it. And I'll just fold it in so that it's fitting my. So now you take your finger and you emboss. And this makes a really, those sticks start showing through. And I went quickly, but you could create a pattern, different patterns. You could use repetition. You could change the size and break the sticks. They could be vertical, horizontal, diagonal, all sorts of ways to do this. So then you just sort of keep rubbing it, getting it how you like. And it's this simple. I like the wrinkles. So the more you rub, the more the wrinkles come. I said in the beginning, one fun thing to do is if you take some acrylic paint like black and you put it on, paint it on, let it dry, and then take a damp cloth. It'll disguise the tin foil appearance, and it will make it look like metal. It's really cool. All right, basically that's it. And we can do you can do some fun other things, like if I want to add a string, I just add a little tape. String's always nice because then you can wrap it, and you'll see, I highly encourage you to research rattles, different cultures, and see how and why, most importantly, why they decorate their rattles in the manner they do. Because rattles are very symbolic. They're used in ceremonial and religious or other important dances. The sound stimulates your cognitive consciousness and can help you go to different places. Okay, so I would spend a nice amount of time later on this, and we'll do this. Now I'm going to call on my friends and introduce them, and then we might pause for a moment and get set up, but I don't know, we might have to get right in. So here they are, my wonderful friends, Dan Duggan, the Esperance Productions. Come closer, they can see you.
Hi, everybody.
And Peggy Lynn, Corcus Music.
Hello.
They're both renowned
Welcome.
Singer-songwriters. They sing with Dan Bergeron, Jam Crackers. They also sing independently, and Danny and Peggy sing together quite often. They're very well known throughout the Adirondacks, and actually throughout the country. So it's a joy to have them. And I'm going to let them talk about the second part of this program, which is the call and response.
Can we pause it so we can get set up? Is that possible?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, great. So we have a couple of the rattles that Carol made, and we're going to just demonstrate a little bit of technique for the rhythm for these songs. And there's a lot of different things you can do, but mostly with a rattle, it's either a soft sound, which you get from moving it side to side, which you can hear, or a more percussive, more short tap if you use it like you're clapping your hands. And you can intersperse them and be creative as long as somebody has that main heartbeat, boom, 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 that everybody can sink into and stomp your feet back and forth. Dan's back there, he's got that rhythm going. Great. And once again, it's very simple. You start really simple with just a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But what the Africans do is they have polyrhythms. So they have different rhythms going on all at the same time. Sometimes they'll have one person start with a rhythm, and then a couple beats later, they have another person come in doing the same rhythm but offset from it. So it gets very intricate. Our rhythms are considered pretty rudimentary compared to a lot of African rhythms. But you can enjoy mixing it up a little bit. You know, start with something simple, and then once you have that beat going along, you can mix it up and come back to it and enjoy mixing up the sounds of soft sounds back and forth, or harder sounds where you could actually bang your rattle against the palm of your hand or your head or whatever sounds best to you. You might even find a wooden stick or a metal tin can to bang your rattle against. So those are ideas for enjoying the rhythm of any song, really. Doesn't have to be an African song or a call and response song. Anything can use a little rhythm sometimes. So what we're going to share with you to begin with for songs is a song that it's African traditional, and this song was used a lot in the civil rights movement of the 1960s. So Freedom Singers, you can find videos of them on the internet singing this song, and it has undergone the folk process. So people added in whatever lyrics were reflective of their experience at the time. And what this song did for people was it raised their morale, because a lot of people who were protesting for civil rights faced police violence. They had fire hoses turned on them and dogs that were sticked on them. And so it was pretty scary, but singing together really raised their morale and made them feel unified. So that song can do that for you in your school, in your family. It can raise your morale and express in words your common experience. Let's face it, COVID times have been really difficult. They've been isolating, and anxiety producing. And so you can use a song to express your feelings and put you on common ground with other people who have similar experience. Um, I talked a little bit on the PDF there about work songs and how and why they were developed. One of the really important places that work songs were used was on sailing ships. As early as the 1500s, people were sailing on huge ships out into the ocean, and they had to use huge ropes to raise and lower the sails. And it was very important that everyone who was working together had the same, all pulled at the same time. You couldn't have one guy pulling here and another one pulling a little later. Everyone had to do it at the same time. And so they would sing a song that put them all in the same rhythm. And they would sing about the terrible food on the ships and the horrible storms that they faced. And it brought them all together and put them in the same rhythm. Likewise, field hollers were sung by enslaved Africans in the southern United States before the Civil War. And they had to really belt out the songs across the fields as they were picking cotton or tending tobacco. And it put them all in a rhythm, but also expressed their feelings of being oppressed and facing violence, and help them endure those very difficult times. So we're going to share this song, Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around. And I learned this song originally from the singing of Joan Baez, who is not African American. She adapted this song for her own performances, and she was part of the civil rights movement, but also the peace movement of the 1960s. And so she added some different words. You can add your own words as well.
I'll also interject before I get into pictures, please. I was going to keep them beat as if someone was clapping now.
Great.
And if one person was doing that, somebody else could do the counting notes like this. And the one, just like that. So, here we go.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking. Gonna build a brand new world. Now that's the verse everyone starts with. And we'll come back to it at the end. So they start and end with that. And I want you to be singing along on Turn Me Round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking, gonna build a brand new world. I'm going to insert a new word. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking, gonna build a brand new world. Ain't gonna let race hatred turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let race hatred turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking. Gonna build a brand new world. Ain't gonna let no pandemic turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no pandemic turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking. Gonna build a brand new world. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on walking, keep on talking. Gonna build a brand new world. I hope you all sang along, shook your shakers.
Move this so we can see the chair a little bit. That's good. Can you set yourself up so you can be seen again?
I could sit next to you.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Oh, cut my head off.
Do that.
Ouch, that hurt.
Yeah.
Well, this next song that we're going to teach you is actually is an old African song that actually came to us, came to some of the Americans from some of the Georgia islands, the islands off the coast of Georgia. And the song is called Juba. And Juba is actually the word Juba. There's an island off of Sudan known as Juba, and for North Africans. But the word Juba was used by the slaves to refer to the scraps that they were given, how they were not given good food. They were always given the castaways. So they were not given good food. They were not given good drink. And they thought they could be stronger and stronger because they survived by just having the Juba. And that's what this song is all about, Juba this and Juba that. And Juba killed the yellow cat. The yellow cat refers to the slave owner or the master. And that meant that the slave owner was scared and he was not strong enough to survive on what they were given. So, Juba this, Juba that, Juba killed the yellow cat. You sift the meal, give me the husk. You cut the bread, give me the crust. You cook the meat and give me the skin. And that's the way my mama's trouble began. Now, instead of using any kind of a shaker, this song is, I'm going to move that down just a tiny bit so you can see my hand. This song uses hand motion and what's called hand bone. And the way that works, I'm going to show you very slowly. You drop one hand, and then the other hand goes up, down, to do that. So it's right, up, down, left, up, down, right, up, down, left, up, down, right, up, down, left, up, down. So that's the basic rhythm of this. And you can do the same thing with the shakers, doing that same rhythm. It's kind of a 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and like that. So we'll keep this beat, and we're going to go start kind of slow. We'll move our way up a little bit. But this song is actually a true call and response. So I'll sing a line, and then Peggy will sing that line back, and that will be your line. And I'm going to take this off so I don't hurt my finger. So here we go. Juba this and Juba that.
Juba this and Juba that.
And Juba killed the yellow cat.
Juba killed the yellow cat.
You sit the meal, give me the hug.
You sip the meal, give me the hug.
You cut the bread, give me the crust.
You cut the bread, give me the crust.
You cook the meat, give me the skin.
You cook the meat, give me the skin.
And that's the way my mama's trouble begins.
And that's the way my mama's trouble begins.
Juba,
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 Juba.
Juba.
Oh, Juba this and Juba that.
Juba this and Juba that.
And Juba killed the yellow cat.
Juba killed the yellow cat.
You sip the meal, give me the hug.
You sip the meat, give me the hug.
And you cut the bread, you give me the crust.
You cut the bread, give me the crust.
Oh, cook the meat, give me the skin.
Cook the meat, give me the skin.
That's the way my mama's trouble begins.
That's the way my mama's trouble begins.
Juba,
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 Juba.
Juba.
Well, Juba this and Juba that.
Juba this and Juba that.
And Juba killed the yellow cat.
Juba killed the yellow cat.
You sip the meal and give me the hug.
You sip the meal, give me the hug.
You cut the bread, you give me the crust.
You cut the bread, give me the crust.
Cook the meat, give me the skin.
You cook the meat, give me the skin.
And that's the way my mama's trouble begins.
That's the way my mama's trouble begins.
Juba,
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 Juba for my mom.
Juba for my mom.
Juba for my pa.
Juba for my pa.
Juba for my mother-in-law.
Juba for my mother-in-law.
Juba,
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 Juba, Juba.
Yes.
So that song has a true call and response. I was a little higher than I probably should have been for Peggy, but that's a great thing, and that you can get faster and faster with your hambos. I don't know if you can see, I was hitting my leg and then hitting my hand. So I hit my leg, but I can see better. So,
Great. Awesome. Well, we hope you enjoyed this project. Shake, Rattle, Call, and Response. I want to give a special love and thanks to Dan and Peggy, to FEH BOCES, to BluSeed Studios. I'm Lunar Horizon, Cortex Music, and Esperance Productions. And we're so happy to share this with you.
Thanks for asking us.
thanks.
Please share the love, share the creativity, help others, and be proud of yourself for doing this project. Thank you.